A very good morning to you once again from Oberstdorf, and I am so pleased to tell you that we have an absolutely great day and in prospect a fantastic race. For the next 90 minutes or a little bit more, don't you go anywhere. Just stay here with us for the men's 4x10 kilometre classic and freestyle relay with myself, David Goldstrom, and Inge Bråten, a man who in his time has coached the top Norwegians, including Bjørn Dæhlie, to no less than 8 Olympic gold medals. Well, Norway are certainly favourites and their spirits high after their victory in the Nordic combined team event, but this is a very big competition. Norway, though, they've got some opposition to deal with, including the Italians, who are in big spirits themselves. The Italians have got an excellent quartet today. Pietro Pilacotra, gold medal in the 15 kilometres ahead of his roommate Fulvio Valbusa, Giorgio Di Centa and Christian Zorzi. That is a strong quartet. Here's Pietro Pilacotra's thoughts. Well, we've worked on the relay for many years. We're now right alongside Norway and Germany, and we're obviously hoping for a really good result in today's competition. Marco Albarello was a gold medalist back in 1987 here when the World Championships were last held in Germany. Today, he's the team boss. We've got racers who are men who have good results in both styles, classic and freestyle. We are stronger in freestyle, but in classic style, Valbusa and Di Centa should and could do good things. Marco Albarello once again. I think we should be on the podium. If we're second behind Norway or Germany, we will be happy. Germany, they've got a really strong team. They've showed their power over the past years. Other favourites, well, of course, Norway and Sweden. But maybe the Germans are the team to beat. Well, he says that, Inge, but you and I know from talking to the Italians, they're here to win.
They're here to win like many other countries today, David, but I think it will be very strong. Also Russia and Norway, they are our 3 biggest favorites.
However, we're going to put in Austria as lively outsiders. They've got a very good and experienced quartet, so it's best to keep on the right side of the Austrians, who were world relay champions on home snow in Ramsau in 1999. in another spectacular finish. We'll take a break, we'll pay the rent, we'll come back, and then we're all the way through the men's relay. Again, a very good morning to you from Inge Bråten and myself, David Goldstrom. You know, we could be in Norway today, but we're not. We're in Oberstdorf, and look at the weather conditions, Inge. Couldn't be better.
They are just perfect for cross-country skiing. -2 in the air and -8 in the snow, and humidity almost 55-60.
Yeah, and these are the nations, 17 of them, 4 men per team. They're going to each ski 10,000 meters. The first 2 skiers of each team will race in classic stride and glide. The second 2 will freestyle skate over some of the toughest courses you'll see. Not so hard, the freestyle skate, but I tell you what, Inge, this classic loop is really tough.
Yeah, I will say it's the toughest ever in a relay in the championships. They have 3 times that big steep uphill, the toughest uphill we have had for many years, and they have also to go it 3 times, David, each leg.
The Norwegian quartet you just saw, Hjelmeset and Estil in classic, and then Berger and Hofstad for the skaters. Germany silver medalist in 2003, ahead of Sweden, who took bronze, Filbrich, Schluter, Angera and Teichmann. And the news today is that Sommerfeld's not racing. He has been taken out. The knee problems have really cost him his form. Sweden, Mats Larsson, Anders Södergren, Johan Olsen and Matti Fredriksson. No Jürgen Brink, who had that Brink moment which we'll talk about during the race 2 years ago when gold seemed just a whisker away from them. Wearing forward today the Russians and Nika Prankachov, Rutschev, the gold medalist yesterday from the individual sprint, together with Dementiev and Bolshakov, who had a very good race, top 15 finish in the opening 15-kilometer freestyle race, is their anchor man. Then Italy, Giorgio Di Centa and Fulvio Valbuzza, the two very experienced men. Bulbu, who's already got a silver medal from the 15 free, but is going classic today, and of course Pilar Cotra, the gold medalist in the 15-kilometer freestyle, and spirits really high in the Italian camp. What they're looking forward to is to try to get that gold medal to give them a huge boost to go forward to the Olympic Games in Torino in just 12 months from now. So, the world champions are Norway, the silver medalists are Germany, Sweden, the bronze medalists, Russia were in fourth place ahead of Sweden and Finland. That's how it was 2 years ago when the weather was just like this. So here we go, just moments away, 30 seconds away from the start of the men's 4x10-kilometer relay. Sit back, enjoy with Inge Bratton and myself, David Goldstrom, 90 minutes of action, and you could call this any which way, but certainly it's Norway and Germany and Sweden and Italy and Austria. We're putting those teams in our first five, aren't we, at the moment, Inge?
Also Russia, I think, David.
So here they are, and a massive crowd. This is the biggest crowd of the championships. As we look out from our commentary box, there must be at least 25 to 30,000 people here, not just in the stadium where the seats are really full, but all around the track, about this Bergstall track. 3.3 kilometers. They do it 3 times. Monster climb in here, a really long and demanding one, and the clock is counting down. And away they go, and watch for Hjalmarseth in the red suit for Norway, but a really good stride there by Mats Larsson for Sweden, gets them really quickly into the lead. Mats Larsson, who's had less than 24 hours to recover since he finished 6th in the classic relay won by the Russian Vasily Rutschev. But right behind him there is Hjalmarseth of Norway. And Inge, they're already climbing.
Yeah, they start already the biggest the climbing after 600 meters, and then they have the climb up to 1600 meters, and then they're going directly down to the stadium again.
And on the near side, this is Martin Tauber for Austria, doing exactly what he did in the double pursuit. Do you remember how long he led there on the classic leg? He eventually finished 31st and faded back, but here's a man who had really no World Cup form coming into the championships, but then produced a really good result. But over 10,000 kilometers, he can give Austria a really good position.
He will, I think, and it's also good for the others that Austria can make the speed here in the first leg. And I also think we will have many seconds from the first to the last teams in already this first leg.
Yeah, they're just stretching out Austria, of course, who won the title in 1999 in Ramsau on home snow, and that was yet one of so many famous finishes. It's incredible, isn't it, Inge, after 40,000 meters, how more often than not it comes down to a goal, really just a lunge across the line. And in 1999 it was Hoffman who did the unbelievable. He outlunged Thomas Olsgaard, who was almost unbeatable in a finish.
Yeah, but we also had likely in 94, you remember, David? So why couldn't they start in the last uphill and only do the last kilometer?
Indeed, but up front here, now you can see Hjalmarseth in the red there. Mats Larsson just following him on the right of your screen as you see them now. And also, I think I can see up there Giorgio Di Centa just trying to pick him up at the moment, who's well to the fore. And now the severe climb begins.
Yeah, and it's only going up and up and up and up for the next kilometer.
And in fact, second on the far side there, that is Giorgio Di Cento. You can just see a sort of white hat with a little bobble on the top. And there's Giorgio. Hjelmerset, nice rhythm and in good spirits this morning.
I think so. He was in a very good humor, like he always is, almost, Oddbjørn Hjelmerset. But I think this lap he has thought of for many, many, many months. We also saw Philby from Germany, a little bit special way to go, the classical technique, more upright than the others.
Yes, and the Germans, well, we've been talking about them all week. The host nation, Jochen Belle's squad of men and women, and nothing really has gone right for them here as you've seen them coming out the start gate. And Jochen Belle involved in quite a heated discussion, if I can put it that way, with German television. German television saying, well, why hasn't it gone right? I think our assessment is just a general one, which is, unfortunately, and it happens, the timing of the preparation was actually mistimed.
Christmas stars, many say so, the German team, but of course they have been unhappy with after Christmas, so January was not a good month for the German team.
Yeah, no medals for leading at halfway, and Hjelmerset, who was fifth yesterday, so he must have been a bit disappointed not to make the final, because only the first four went through. Arne Hetland, of course, Norway in silver medal position, the Olympic champion. But just looking at this, it's Norway up there with Austria. Second on the left there, that's that's Giorgio Di Cento. Following him is Pankratov, wearing 4 for Russia. Philbrick on the near side, he's shadowing in behind Hjelmerset. Red hat, second closest to you at the moment. And Mats Larsson of Sweden just dropped back a little bit as they continue up this climb, which seems to go on and on and on.
Yeah, we talk about Mats Larsson, David. It's first time he's doing a relay for the Swedish team, and I think that's a big chance to take for the Swedish team to have that young man on the first leg.
Also up there in that first group, Christophe Perillard for France, who will be handing over to Vincent Vitoz, the gold medalist, of course, in the double pursuit. And then Jean-Pierre and Roussier. And the French, who've had good form, they've been twice third in World Cup relays this season, and they've got a pretty stable squad. The Italians, though, Di Cento, Valbuza, Peter Kotra and Zorzi, that's a very, very settled quartet. That's the same quartet they've had since Gällivare early in the season and through to December in Val di Fiemme.
Yeah, so look up for France today. They also had a victory last season at their home place up in La Clisson.
And in fact, now into the lead, Andrei Golovko for Kazakhstan. Useful quartet. Eremenko, who we haven't seen much of during the championships. Chobotko, who skied everything and is certainly their number one skier at the moment. And Koshevoy. But the Kazakhstan squad, both men and women, once upon a time, a couple of years ago, when you looked at the result pages, Inge, you looked on the second and the third page. Now you're beginning to look on the first page.
Yeah, it started in the Olympics in Salt Lake City 2002. Golovko also very good at the classical technique there, and he was also the winner of the first leg in La Clisson in a relay World Cup last year. So it's not that surprising that Golovko is in the lead. Can maybe beat all this leg.
And an absolutely gorgeous day for skiing. It's an ideal one for spectating. And now you can see these tricky descents here. And interesting, Norway, they've got their first man on skate, Lars Berger, who I have to say, not that I'm wishing him well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, he does have the occasional fall.
No, not like he had last year, but it's coming more and more, and he will also be in the World Championships for the biathlon in 14 days. I think he will be even better today than he was in the opening when he was number 4 in the 15 kilometers.
And on that subject, Inge, we got an email in from one of our viewers, ski@infovoice.de is our email address, saying, you know, didn't we know that Bjørn Dalen had a tummy bug? It was well known. known amongst the biathlon circuits? Well, the answer to that was yes, we did. But, you know, you talked to Bjørn Dalen yourself. As far as the coaches was concerned and Bjørn Dalen, he was fit to go.
Yeah, and he had been it for all that week almost, so you not always have to trust what is written in the newspapers.
Exactly. And then Bjørn Dalen, of course, showed his well-being in the biathlon in Pokluka, where he absolutely destroyed everybody.
It was not that bad. He had a victory with more than 1 minute up there.
Yeah, and big.
But that was also a couple of days after the pursuit start here.
Indeed, but over the bridge they come. This is the end of the first 3,300 metres, and they still have to go round twice more before they hand over. And look at those fantastic stands there. This is what we wanted to see. This is what we associate with the Nordic Ski World Championships. This atmosphere, it's right through the town of Oberstdorf in the southwest corner of Germany in the Allgäu as they come through and go out and turn away towards the climb again. And the first time they come through the stadium, just looking at that, 3.3 Canada up.
Kershaw, he was very good in his sprint a couple of days ago.
Indeed he was. Kershaw was the best of the Canadian sprinters, and in fact they had 3 in the top 22, and with Sarah Renner getting the bronze, that was 48 hours ago. That was the best Canadian day they've had at the World Championships, so everybody's spirits boosted. And Canada, I have to say, I wouldn't expect them to be there at the end, but George Gray, Dan Roycroft and Chris Jeffries, that is a very promising quartet. So chopping and changing at the moment. Canada from Kazakhstan, Norway a fraction behind, Germany right there, Italy, Austria, Russia and France all within a couple of seconds, Sweden as well. So Mats Larsson sticking in there, and Estonia, Raul Ole, who would arguably be one of their weaker men, with no disrespect to them, but then they got Verpalu on the second leg, and they got Jakmai, the first skate man. So weaving his way back through Oddburn, Helmeset. There's Larsson, what he would be in about 6th place now.
But some problems for the Swede. It was a little gap in front of him.
Yeah, but he's going to hand over to Södergren, so he's got to stay tough. And in 4th place there, Giorgio Di Centa. This is a good start by Giorgio. Giorgio, who was, of course, a silver medal in the pursuit behind Vincent Vito. Or Vincent Vitoz, I should say. Giorgio Di Centa coming right into the stadium on the ski tails of Vincent Vitoz, in the right place at the right time, but he just didn't have the pace to go past the Frenchman.
But now it's Oddbjørn Hjelmeset. He start to speed up a little here, the Norwegian. Yeah. And he's going fast, David.
Yeah. Helmeset, 33 years of age, so absolutely in his prime. And of course he has had a relay gold. He got the relay gold in 2001 in the World Championships ahead of Sweden. He was in the team then when Germany were bronze.
And he also had a medal from the Salt Lake City individual.
Yeah, the bronze in the 50-kilometer classic style there. So he's a really good all-round racer who can sprint or go the furthest trip. And now Pankratov goes 2nd, and then in 3rd place Di Centa and
Filbrich from Germany.
Yeah, United States, and Chris Freeman, the young man who came so close to a medal in Val di Fiemme in the 15 Classic, the man who's a diabetic who has to take 3 injections a day.
During the 50 kilometer also, we talked about that in Val di Fiemme. He had to stop maybe and have a injection.
Very interesting. We don't know if Chris is going to go in the 50. I think it'll be a decision made after today. Well, Inge, you try to ski whenever you can. It's great to be here and watch this race, but in a sense you'd like to be out on a track on a day like this, wouldn't you?
Yes, but not with my knee just now, David, so it's good to be here together with you.
Yeah, and look at that. So that really is picture postcard weather. Manuela Henkel of Germany described it as Val di Fiemme weather. Well, it was gorgeous in Val di Fiemme, but when I see blue sky and sunshine, it does remind me first and foremost of Trondheim and Lillehammer.
But what we see now, David, is very important for the relay today. It's 4 men, and then we have the American, I think, on the 5th place. But after the 5th man, we have a huge gap to the others.
Yeah, I must say Jens Philbrick is doing a very good job for Germany. Nothing extravagant. He's letting the others do the donkey work, and he's just staying there. And as long as he can cover every move made by Hjelmeset, that's very good. And of course, Germany, bronze Olympic relay medal in Salt Lake City, silver in the World Championships. And this day could be the day to actually save the faces of the cross-country team, who are themselves individually and collectively so disappointed.
Yeah, but this seems good for the German. I agree with you, David. It's very important this day for Germany. Maybe they also have a good team sprint tomorrow, but they can't be sure of that.
Yeah, Chris Freeman there tacking on that group. He's only 24 years of age, from Andover in New Hampshire. And when he was skiing in the World Championships, he came to the World Championships in 2003, having just won the under-23 world title. And I still think we haven't seen the best of him. Luke Bodensteiner, the head coach for the Americans, thinks a lot of him. And he's cruising up there. He's really cruised up to them.
Yeah, he's cruising up. So maybe a little bit slower just now for Oddbjørn Mjelde. I don't hope the others will come nearer. We have one man there in the 6th position. It's not the Swede.
Now we'll get a view in just a moment.
France.
Yeah, and this is Christophe Perriard for France coming through. And then on the near side, just having a look there. That